So check out this iPhone rig I'm using, and it's gonna make your videos look really cinematic, professional, and most of all, it's pretty cheap. Check it out. And of course my alarm goes off.
Dude.
So you're probably asking yourself, why would I even need one of these setups? And to be honest, this is just really for mobile shooting, right? Like you wanna go outside, you wanna shoot a vlog. Actually, there's just so many use cases for this, but this one in particular, I kind of think of more as like vlogging. And the reason why is because we got this really ultra portable tripod. It's really not heavy at all. It's from SmallRig. Does a lot of really cool things. We'll get into that here in a minute. We also have an SSD, and the reason why is because this way you don't have to airdrop all of your files over to your computer or your iPad, wherever you're going to edit. And then I have my iPhone, of course. I have the Rode wireless mics. This is what I'm mic'd up to right now. And then the cool thing about this entire rig, probably what kind of makes it, is this bumper from SmallRig. This is a bumper that can house an ND filter. And that's kind of like what makes this so freaking cool. This ND filter, in case you don't know what it is, this is whenever you're outdoor and you want to use your manual settings on your camera, right? So you want that nice blurry background, but you don't want to use cinematic mode, because cinematic mode can kind of look a little fake sometimes. This is a way to do it, right? So you have your manual settings, you have your shutter set, and so when you go outside, it's really bright, and so if you start to mess with the shutter, the aperture, anything like that, you start to kind of kill like that really nice bokeh background. So then what you'd want to do is you want to put on an ND filter. The best way to describe it without getting too technical, it's just like sunglasses for your camera. It's pretty sweet. And I would also say a really cool thing about this rig is I can just take off the ND filter and I can put it on the DSLR just like that. And that's probably one of the coolest things that I think, because typically you don't want to just use a mobile setup or just use your camera. So this is a really cool kind of ecosystem for SmallRig to kind of use some of their products on each other. And that's probably one of the biggest selling points for me.
All right, this is how it looks without the ND filter. And that's with the ND filter on. Let me know what you think, guys. If it looks good, I got all my manual settings dialed in. So hopefully you like it. This is pretty cool, man. You can just pick this up, go vlog, come out to a nice part of town. Oh, don't forget you can always dial back your settings, dial them back in. So yeah, let me know what you think. I just want to give you guys a little sample of how it looks outdoors and how you can keep your manual settings all dialed in. So,
okay, cool. So first of all, to make all of this work, you're going to want to use the Blackmagic app. And what that does is it allows you to be able to use your manual settings to kind of go around the Apple camera app. And the camera app is actually really good, and so is cinematic mode. They're both really good. It's no shade towards either one of those. It's just sometimes, especially when you use a mirrorless camera like Sony or Canon, you kind of want to dial in your settings and just stick to those settings. Why? Because you want to be able to control the aperture, like how much bokeh you have. And let's be honest, the cinematic mode is great. It's just sometimes you can tell it's in cinematic mode. However, you can see that it's using AI or some type of magic to be able to pull off having the bokeh background, right? Sometimes you can kind of see the blur, like it's just not as sharp. You can still get that bokeh, but at the same time, like keep all of your settings, which is really awesome. So this bumper actually was $20 on the SmallRig site, and I went to Amazon and I got it for $16, and it came the next day, which is pretty awesome. When I got this ND filter, it costed about $50, and it took like a week and a half, 2 weeks to get here, which is forever in 2026, let's be honest. So let's talk a little bit about this tripod. It's just from SmallRig. I bought it a few years ago, probably about 2-3 years ago. Don't remember exactly when, but I think I saw it on a Peter McKinnon video. So he really sold me on it. And, I did get it, and I don't vlog a whole lot. As you guys know, if you follow my channel, I do a lot of podcasting, but my hobby and what I love doing is I love vlogging. I just, it's one of the things that I started, when I started watching YouTube, I used to watch a lot of vlogs, and that's probably still some of my favorite content till this day. But so the cool thing about this tripod, and I'm going to take this apart for a little bit so I can show you guys, is as you can see, you can mount things on this cold shoe right here. And let's say, speaking of vlogs, right? One of the really cool things you can do with this is you can, let's see if I can get this straight. You can actually take this right here, move this to the side, loosen this up, and then kind of click this, pull this out, and then put it right in here. And you hear a little click. And then you can kind of screw that back in. All right, so once you get this right here on this arm, there's a little button right here. Click that, and you can take this all the way right there. And now you have an extension. So you can get a little bit further away, and this is really good whenever you're vlogging. Give you a little bit of distance, especially when you're using a wide lens. This is pretty awesome. There's also another really cool function. Let me put this back together. And this is a way to, I believe they call this like the mantis. Not really too sure, but you want to put this back, loosen this up right here. This little screw, there's a little thing you push. This comes right out. Then you can kind of do this. And you can put this back right here, screw it in tight. And to be honest, guys, this is really sturdy. So you're never going to feel that your camera is going to fall off. And I actually use this for my Sony as well, and it's the A7 IV, so it's a pretty big camera. But the cool thing too is you can actually open this up to get like overhead shots. So you can actually hang it from a fence, from a doorway, from certain things, and this whole thing can just move very freely, So you can get those really crazy, really cool camera angles, like a top-down shot. There's just a lot of really cool angles you can get from this. It also has another cold shoe right here, so you can sometimes, I'll use another mic right here, or I'll use one of my wireless receivers right here, just depending on the situation. It also comes with this little iPhone holder right here that actually tucks away pretty neatly, like in this little space right here. So this thing is super portable. As you can see, you can adjust this top part, according to whatever you really need. If you want it just kind of a little straight up right here, you can do that. You can also do a tilt head, so you can move this, loosen this up right here, and then you can do really cool pans. Pretty smooth. Honestly, this thing is pretty awesome. I have seen a lot of the kind of like those cage rigs, and those are pretty cool as well. But I don't know about you, but I kind of feel that once you kind of get into that, like the big cages and a lot of the lenses and all that you can kind of get into, it kind of stops being as mobile. And I think that the reason why I like this setup, this is something that I had already purchased, and I'm able to adapt new things to it. And that's what's really cool. Going back to the cold shoe, you have a cold shoe here and a cold shoe on here. This is how I'm holding that. It's not a really big one. It's not a full cold shoe, but it's good enough to be able to put your receivers or microphones or whatever you want on here. Here's another microphone by Deity. This is one of my favorite microphones. I believe this is the D4 Duo. This is a really cool microphone by Deity. This microphone you can do either front facing or front and back. So if you're interviewing somebody, it'll pick up, it's basically two mics. But you could do something like this where maybe you don't want to use the wireless mic, and you want look at that. Pretty cool, right? So if you want something even simpler, no wireless mics, this is a cool setup. Cool thing about this is your wireless setup can be also right here. So you see that there's just so many ways that you can rig this without having to use a lot of the quarter-inch screws. So you can do a lot of different types of mounts off of this one tripod, which is pretty cool, right? And this whole time I've been kind of holding it like this, but let's not forget this is also a tripod. So you're able to, you know, kind of have this somewhere out, right? Like there's just so many possibilities with this tripod, which is kind of why I like this a little better than the cage. Okay, let's go ahead and put this back together the way I had it. And while I do that, I just want to ask you a question. You know, what would you prefer? Would you prefer the SmallRig cage? I think there's other companies like Moment that have similar cages. Would you prefer a cage, or would you prefer this tripod that, let me look how easy that is right there. More mobile, you can do a little more with it. I do think it weighs down a little bit too. It's a little, like, it feels premium. So I don't, as far as I know, like, you don't get a ton of shake. But at the same time, when you're doing mobile content, like more specifically vlogs, you know, it's a little more forgiving. You don't always have to be perfectly steady, like a gimbal shot, right? So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Would you go for something a little more minimal budget like this setup right here, or would you go for one of the SmallRig cages? So I'm going to leave the links to all these accessories in the description. So be sure to like, comment, and most of all, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope this helps you out. This is a fun little setup, and I think that if you're really trying to get into vlogging or just mobile video period, I think you're gonna like this a lot. So be sure to check that out, and full transparency, they're not affiliate links. Right now, I am under 1,000 subscribers, so that would also be very awesome of you to subscribe, so that way I can start doing affiliate links. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.